In 2022, the number of older single women in first-tier cities in China reached nearly 4 million, with Shenzhen home to 1.1 million, Beijing to 800,000, and Shanghai to 900,000. These women generally share common traits. They live and work in major cities, hold high educational qualifications, and have respected jobs. Logically, finding a partner should be straightforward, yet the reality is quite different. As they get older, anxiety often leads these women to wonder whether they should lower their standards and make compromises. But for many, it's no longer a question of compromise. The options to do so are disappearing. Current social trends suggest that many may end up living alone. This situation stems from traditional views on marriage, where many women prefer partners with higher social and financial status than their own. When older single women talk about their struggles in finding partners, they often attribute it to being too exceptional and lament the lack of outstanding men around them. This belief seems valid, as they are highly educated and financially independent, enjoying hobbies like travel and baking. However, most of these pursuits are primarily for personal fulfillment and may not directly contribute to family life. When evaluating a man, the conversation typically revolves around his social status and financial means. If a man were to claim his excellence lies in enjoying fishing, gaming, or playing football, most women would dismiss him. In reality, the perceived excellence of many women is heavily influenced by gender and age biases. For example, if success for a man is judged by his ability to buy a car, success for a woman is often reduced to just having a driver's license. Younger women who are attractive receive attention everywhere, fostering a false sense of excellence and popularity. If an older woman has previously dated a well-off man, her standards for future partners often rise sharply. Many single women compare potential partners to ex-boyfriends. If an ex drove a Ferrari, the next partner should at least drive a Porsche. If the ex owned multiple properties, she may now expect a spacious apartment. After spending years in major cities, some women mistake the caliber of past relationships for the standard in future ones. From their perspective, they feel they are sincerely seeking compatible, long-term partners, but from the viewpoint of eligible men, these interactions might just be casual dating without marriage in mind. With no intention of a shared future, factors like income and family background become irrelevant. This misunderstanding leads many women to believe they are well-suited for these exceptional men, yet both men and women approach marriage cautiously. When faced with the responsibility of marriage, practical considerations inevitably arise. Only when someone feels no responsibility for another's future can they afford to be carefree. Why would a top-tier man choose one woman from countless impressive options? While men may be able to marry down, they are unlikely to do so as a form of charity. Experiences of being pursued in their youth can mislead some women about their social standing and lead them to overestimate their value in the marriage market. They may feel deserving of top-tier partners while overlooking societal perceptions shaped by gender norms. Adapting to a simpler life is difficult after enjoying the luxuries of first-tier cities. Accepting ordinary prospects is even harder after dating exceptional men. Many find themselves dismissing those who match their own status while being unwilling to settle for less, and as time passes, they age while potential partners drift away. Most men have a clear understanding of their circumstances, often shaped by societal expectations. Those unable to secure themselves in top-tier cities may move to smaller cities, where they can find more balanced partnerships. Ultimately, in a society leaning toward gender equality, where men and women enjoy equal opportunity, how is it possible for there to be an ample number of economically desirable men who meet these women's expectations? For older single women, it's no longer about convincing men to accept their perspective, but about adjusting their approach quickly. In a dating market with a gender imbalance in first- and second-tier cities, moving slowly could mean facing a lifetime of solitude.
Ladies, listen up. Ever wonder why so many women in their 30s are still single? Let me break down how men really see things. It's not just that younger women in their 20s might look fresher or have better figures. It's also about something men value highly: reproductive potential, which they perceive as declining once women hit their 30s. Take my friend, for example. He's 28, good-looking, owns a house and a car. and makes around 400,000 to 500,000 yuan a year. At about 180 centimeters tall, he's what most would consider a catch. This year, when he went home for the new year, his relatives introduced him to several potential partners, and half were women over 30. These women were impressive in every way: looks, body, education. But he didn't meet any of them. I asked him why he didn't at least give them a chance, given all their positive qualities. His answer? He told me he's quite traditional and considers marriage and children when dating. He said, "If she's over 36, can she still have children? If I want multiple kids, will that even be possible?" Now, some of you may think, I'm independent, own a house, have a car, and look amazing. Who says I have to bear anyone's children? But consider this. Those achievements may not mean much to men. If men were truly looking for those qualities, wouldn't they be jumping at the chance to date you? The reality that many women in their mid-30s remain single suggests we might need to rethink what men actually want. I often hear from men who have a consistent view on age. No matter how attractive or accomplished a woman in her mid-30s might be, it doesn't sway them toward marriage. They may date older women, but often stop short of a long-term commitment. Men are naturally inclined toward younger women, not only because of their youth, but also because of their perceived reproductive value, a factor men take very seriously. Women have a limited fertility window, so if marriage is the goal, we need to consider timing. We need to make our choices when we are seen as having the most value from the other side's perspective.
Why are so many older single women in first-tier cities? It's simple. When you work around luxury goods long enough, you might start seeing yourself as part of that luxury, or begin expecting that level of lifestyle. After a while, your standards naturally rise, and you start expecting more from life. Here's another way to look at it. Imagine you borrow a friend's car every day, and he never complains. After 6 months, you might start feeling like that car is practically yours. Or say you borrow your friend's jeweler for social events, and after a while, it almost feels like it belongs to you. Similarly, after 5 years in a top-tier city, many women feel like they belong there. Whether they have money in the bank or not, that mindset doesn't change. Meanwhile, men look at their salaries and housing costs and often decide to lower their expectations. Just look at rural areas where most of China's 30 million single men are found. They're in underdeveloped regions. Unlike men, women aren't facing the same financial pressure when it comes to buying houses or cars. Their biggest expenses tend to be cosmetics and handbags, which, compared to housing prices in big cities, are minor. Of course, these women bring value of their own. They invest time in learning new skills like tea tasting, baking, traveling, and practicing yoga. This gives them a false sense of self-worth and allows them to hold their ground. And what keeps them there? Their looks, which they work hard to maintain. Many women in their 30s still look youthful, often investing heavily in skincare and makeup in hopes of finding a successful partner. They don't want to settle because, in their eyes, doing so would feel like they're marrying down. Remember the viral video of the mom in People's Park setting up her daughter on blind dates? She demanded a partner with a house and a 1 million yuan salary for her daughter, who only earns 5,000 yuan a month. In first-tier city dating markets, the male-to-female ratio is about 1 to 6. Why are there so few men? Because most men know they don't meet the high standards required in these markets. Only a small number of high-status men enter the scene, but even they often have lengthy dating histories and don't commit. They know exactly what women want and are skilled at leading them on before gradually making a choice. Women, on the other hand, face fewer entry barriers on the dating scene, as long as they're willing to try. They think that if they get lucky, they could completely change their lives. Many older single women aim to secure their place in society through marriage, without realizing that real partnership requires more than just appearance and branding. It requires skills that make men truly captivated by them. In fact, there are even companies offering courses on mistress training or how to steal a partner, charging nearly 300,000 yuan for these sessions. Unfortunately, most of what they teach is superficial, without any real substance. With high expectations but little to show for it, many of these women remain single over time. So, what's the solution? For women in first-tier cities, it's crucial not to focus solely on ideals and feelings. They need to understand their true goals and why they're staying in these cities, and don't be misled by superficial things. For many, marriage feels like a final shot at changing their lives. People work hard for years just to settle in a top-tier city. These women are often eager for stability, so if a high-quality man meets their standards and occasionally treats them to dinner, they may quickly start to fall for him. While money might seem like a surface-level display, for some, it signals real potential. Meanwhile, men who are only interested in casual dating can sometimes take advantage of these older women without any true intention to commit. These types may even say they don't care about her past and want to be part of her future, which, for women no longer in their early 20s, can feel like reassurance. Within a week or two, many might already feel comfortable with them. High-value past partners set high standards for future ones, and with each dating attempt, the stakes rise until some eventually find themselves as older, unmarried women.